Right now, I'm sitting with Nompumelelo. She's an independent consultant. She's done a couple of researches and everything, and helping out with information that can help with this social cohesion thing that the department is putting forward. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, Chris. Thank you so much for having me.
Good, good. You're welcome. Come on. It's like you're gonna steal this interview from me.
No, no, no.
Let's tell us a bit. As an independent consultant, what do you do?
So, just to give you some background about myself, so I have been in the research and analysis space for about a decade now. My background is in the social sciences, political science, and sociology.
All right.
And so I have tried to coin out a space for myself as a political analyst
All
over
right.
the years. I write a column for the Sowetan
Okay.
on a weekly basis. It's the critical take.
All right.
And basically trying to analyze and give a perspective on social and political dynamics going on in our society.
All right.
Commenting on politics and commenting on policy issues as well. Basically a young person who believes that we all have a contribution to make our country a better place.
Yes.
And I feel as someone with an academic background, I can use my skills to contribute to that. So I'm an independent consultant currently working with the Mapungubwe Institute for Strategic Reflection.
All right. Please, can you repeat that name again?
Mapungubwe Institute for Strategic Reflection,
All
which is
right.
part of the convening team of the DAC conference that we're at right now.
Okay.
And I was brought in under the auspices of my company, the Critical Thinker,
All right.
which is an organization that really works on providing socio-political analysis,
All right.
research services, as well as communication and media products as well. We
Okay.
do communication consulting as well.
All right.
So I was brought on board to update research that MISTRA started in 2014, a research report
All
on
right.
the importance of social compacting.
Okay.
Now, this report is important because it not only gives a theoretical basis for what social compacting is,
Okay.
it provides practical examples and case studies from other countries to
All
say,
right.
these countries have used the process of compacting, building social compacts to address certain challenges that they were facing.
Nompumelelo, it's quite fascinating the way you put in all of these things. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but my concern is that, since yesterday I've been trying to find out exactly, this will be like talking about people like me who are ignorant,
Yeah.
who are not that much educated. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when we say social compacting,
Yeah.
what exactly do you mean by that?
What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't want to get into the history of the concept. It's a concept in the social sciences and political science.
All right.
In political philosophy as well, in particular. The social contract. It's actually called a social
Social
contract,
contract,
as
yeah.
well as social compact. You can use the terms interchangeably.
Okay.
But really, it's talking about an agreement, right?
Okay.
A contract, we know, is an agreement. When you get into a contract with a cell phone provider,
Yes,
you sign a contract.
contract,
It has
yes.
terms, right? And it
And
has
conditions.
and conditions.
Yes,
Yes, there are parties to that contract, right? And when you sign the contract, you're giving yourself consent. You are giving your consent, right? That you're going to be subject to this contract
Exactly.
and to the terms of the contract.
Yes.
So a social contract, if you look at it now from that basic and simple perspective, is a contract between the state, right, as well as society.
All right.
So the state having authority and power, to make certain decisions, to make policies, to make laws, gets into a contract with the rest of society to say that it's going to be held accountable for certain things.
All right, all right.
And society says we give our authority, we give our consent to be governed by under the state, right? And so in the context of what we're talking about today,
Yes.
we are saying that it's important to develop a social contract between government and the rest of society, different stakeholders,
All right.
labor, the workers, represented by trade unions,
Okay.
business, big business, those are the investors, those are the people who actually create jobs in
Jobs,
different
yes.
industries,
Yes.
right? As well as civil society, broader civil society,
All right.
which includes young people, people with disabilities, traditional leaders, and other cultural groups, people with varying interests, the media, women, all those groups. How can we come together and develop a contract between ourselves and government to say how are we going to address the problems we're facing in society?
All
These can
right.
be economic problems, social problems that we're facing, issues around violence, those things that are problems that and establishing what our common goals are, what our common interests are,
all
what
right.
are we all trying to achieve. So we're going to speak about that and develop this contract,
All right.
develop the terms and conditions, and then we are all going to sign on, so that we are held accountable to
right.
this contract. So we'll be able to point at this thing, at this document, and say government has committed to do A, B, and C.
Yes.
Business has committed to doing this and that. Labor has committed to the following. The rest of civil society have also committed to the following. These are the compromises that we're willing to make and the trade-offs that are on the table. But the objective is, how do we make South Africa work
All
for
right.
everybody?
Okay. If we put this into perspective, all right, do this is a contract now between government and
Yeah.
civil society, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever agreement that you be putting together here today, or I don't know when you're going to be signing that contract, does it has to be passed to the parliament for ratification before it becomes an implementable policy?
Yeah.
Or it's just something like, okay, no, government has taken this stand, so let's society, this is what we decided in Pretoria on this day.
Yeah.
This is what we're all going to do now as people of South Africa. Or
Yeah.
how does that play out?
So the title of this conference is actually Towards a Social Compact.
Okay,
Right? It's
all
not
right.
that we're building the social compact now.
All right.
What we're doing is we're getting inputs
Okay.
from different stakeholders to
All
say,
right.
if we were to have such a contract, what should be in it?
All right.
What should be the pillars? What should be the issues that it addresses?
Okay.
And then from there, then it will be taken up further, right?
Okay.
Through the different departments. So the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture is the custodian of social cohesion.
Exactly.
And so the reason why we are having this social compact conference is to say, how can a process of drawing up this contract lead us to a more integrated society,
All right,
where
okay.
everybody feels included.
Okay.
Because that's what cohesion
It's
is
all
really
about.
about,
Exactly.
right? About nation building, building an identity as South Africans. How do we constitute such a nation? And how can this process assist us towards that goal? So we are here to develop this process. And so it will be decided as the process continues to
All
say,
right.
now that DAC has convened this conference and the reports will come in to say, what have the inputs been from the different stakeholders? Right now we've broken up into different
different
commissions,
sections,
right?
okay,
Yeah. The one commission is on inclusive economy.
All right.
The other one is on social policy.
Okay.
The other one is on social dialogue and conflict resolution.
Okay.
And now I don't know why I'm forgetting the fourth commission. Oh yes, building institutional capacity.
Okay.
Right, that speaks to leadership, that speaks to building a capable state.
All right.
And all of that. So we've broken up into these four commissions to get inputs, because we believe that these are the four things that are really key challenges for South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. And so from this process, then we're going to draw up a report. There'll be a report that is drawn up.
All right.
And then the Department of Arts and Culture will then take this forward
Okay.
further into government to say,
Oh.
what are we going to do now
All
with these
right.
inputs in developing a social compact?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Basically, so the Department of Art and Culture now will be in position if he's to take into parliament to try to lobby for making this statement policy, official government policy, or applicable laws or something?
Yes, yes,
All
yeah.
right. Okay, now, okay, enough of those.
Yeah, very.
Those big
I
languages
really
and
tried
everything.
to
All
simplify
right.
it. You
Okay.
know, I
So
really
now
tried.
I want to get personal with you, and this is going
Yeah.
to be my last question.
All right.
As an independent consultant, all right,
Yeah.
what is your role in trying to see that all of this, or what is your role in all of this whole playing field? Let me
Okay.
put it that way.
So, okay, so I told you that I actually have a background in the social sciences. So I've worked for
Okay.
different research organizations.
All right.
And my input really as a researcher, as an academic, as an analyst
Okay.
is to help, number one, give voice to those voices that are usually on the periphery, that are disregarded. And that's what research does. And I was saying that yesterday in my presentation.
Okay.
The value of research is that I don't believe in the notion of being the voice for the voiceless.
The voice, whatever, yeah.
I don't
Those
believe in
commands,
that.
yeah.
There's nobody who is voiceless.
Exactly.
Everybody has a voice. The
You're right.
question, I mean, the challenge is that not everybody's voice is heard. And I believe the role of research, the research that we do, is to amplify
Okay.
the voices of those who would never come to platforms like this. So we go out there, we carry out field work, right, on different questions, and we present that
All
to
right.
the corporate sector, we present that to the government sector, we present that to civil society, so that civil society can take, and these institutions, different institutions in corporate and government, these different entities, can take this research and it can inform decision making,
Okay.
right? So I'm a big advocate of saying everybody has a voice. I'm a big advocate of saying we all have power to make decisions, whether we're at the grassroots level, whether we're making big decisions in government or the corporate. So that's what I'm passionate about. And so in my organization, we believe in taking research that is normally hidden in the academic sphere, hidden in our offices, and bringing it out to the rest of society through innovative media content. You know, like
Okay.
yourself here, you're running a nice talk show, and you're bringing this high-level, you know, conference. You're bringing it to the young people, to youth. So can we package this information
Information, yeah,
in a way
properly.
that is accessible? Can we put it in podcasts? Can we put it in vodcasts, right? Can we put it in smaller, shorter books, not in
Exactly.
these big, thick, you know, can we do policy briefs that everybody can access? Can we put it in the newspapers, you know, so that everybody has access? So I also do presentations. I speak at events, like I've spoken at this event. We also run leadership programs for young people. So we like to work with students, student groups, institutions like universities as well, to bring these conversations that are happening at such high levels. Because it's young people that are going to make these decisions, not tomorrow,
Exactly.
today. Because one of the things I was saying yesterday is that young people are affected the most by the problems we have in our society. If you look at unemployment, if you look at poverty, if you look at inequality, it's young people that are affected.
Exactly.
So they must be brought onto the platform to have a say.
Nompumelelo, you've already said it all. I don't even think there's any question that I've got to ask you again in this brief interview. All
Thank
right.
you so much. This is Nompupelelo Runji. I am the CEO and founder of Critical Thinker. This is a media organization that focuses on producing content based on research and social and political analysis to make it more accessible to the public. We produce research and analysis for the corporate sector, for government, and for civil society more broadly, and run youth leadership development programs with students and young people across the country. You can get in touch with us on criticalthinker.com. You are, or I am, on Moji's TV.
You got to repeat it again.
The whole thing.
No, you don't know. That's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
I am one.
Sorry.
Just-
Yeah, it's just the
just let
viewer
me-
that I am. Yeah, okay. All right. I am on Moji's TV.
Oh, wow, baby. Come on, check it out, man. Thanks.